So one thing I forgot to mention back in Shai, inside the Darshan Mandap, in the ceiling, they have so many amazing paintings. And if you look closely, you can understand one of them is Mathura, one of those paintings is Vrindavan, one of those paintings is, you saw Giriraj, then Nandagaon is there, and last one is, of course, Barsana. And in the very back is the war between Ravan and all the, and Lord Ram and all the monkey warriors and the demons on the other side. That was and right above the altar, then you have beautiful painting of Shai. And next time you go, you can notice all these things. So now we've come to a very peaceful place. We don't often come here, but it's very peaceful, nice place called Nandanvan. So they say that Nanda Baba used to come here to do his bhajan. And our pujari, if you get a chance to come inside, you can see life-size deities of Mother Devaki and Vasudev and Vasudev. You see life-size deities of Devaki Mata, her husband Vasudev, and her son Vasudev. Very life-size deities have been established here. And there's all types of little shrines they've made all around the area here. So this is a very secret place. We don't find in the scriptures much information about this place, but just it's a nice, sweet place to come. So we brought you all here because you see what's happening with Vrindavan nowadays. It's nice to come to these peaceful places and you see the simple life of the villagers. And of course you look outside, you just see stickers, but there's actually a big kund is here underneath all these trees. You can see, if you go outside, you'll see there's a big kund here also. So we'll tell a couple of stories about Prabhupada in Vrindavan. I believe it was 1972. What were the famous series of lectures, Nectar Devotion lectures? Is that 72 or 71? Anyways, very early days. And so that was a big Kartik festival. I think maybe 40, 50 devotees came. We thought that was a big festival. Now you see what it's like. So, and you've seen for his translation. So that time, Jamuna and Gurudas, they were living upstairs, so where Prabhupada's rooms are, there's a room upstairs. So they were staying up there, and so they decided that they should move downstairs and Prabhupada should move upstairs so that he can have some peace to do his translating. So Gurudas and Jamuna, they brought all their things downstairs and they put Prabhupada upstairs and they began to bring all of Prabhupada's things upstairs. So Jamuna was going up the stairs with some of Prabhupada's belongings. And she was just thinking in the back of her mind, what is Prabhupada going to do about that old lady monkey? There was one old lady monkey, they named her Kakati. And she would come every day, steal things out of the kitchen. They put their cloth out to dry. She'd just rip it all to shreds. and just make a nuisance of herself. He says, now what's Swamiji going, because that was the old days. Well, I guess 72 they called him Prabhupada. What's Prabhupada going to do? And when she got upstairs, the door was open just a little bit, and she heard some funny noise. So she peeked through the crack. Prabhupada didn't see her, but she could see Prabhupada, and she saw that in the window was that old lady monkey, Kakati, had come. And Kakati said, "Brrr." And Prabhupada said, "Brrr." And Kakati said, "Brrr." And Prabhupada said, "Brrr." And then she went away. And then Jamuna came in and said, "Prabhupada, what was that?" Jamuna said, or Prabhupada said, "I told her, do not come around and bother." And Jamuna said, from that day we never saw that monkey again. So Prabhupada even knew the language of the monkeys. Another time, Prabhupada was coming to Vrindavan. So Jamuna, she went to some of her Vrajbasi friends and said, what's the best way to make rotis? You guys know rotis now? You know chapatis. And our Gujarati friends, they make them just as flat as a piece of paper, huh? But in Braj, we don't use this machine. Nice and thick with homemade ghee and butter on top. So she asked them how to make rotis the best. So they told her, you get this red Punjabi wheat berry. I've forgotten the name, what it's called. But it's a red Punjabi wheat berry. You have to grind it in the morning that you're going to cook with it. And then you cook it with neem wood. Those are the best. So Prabhupada came, he settled down into his rooms. It was time for lunch. Jamuna didn't say a word to him. She just, brought in his lunch. Then she ran in, she brought a nice hot roti. Prabhupada broke off a piece, took some sabji. He began to eat. He said, this is the Punjabi wheat berry. You ground it this morning and you cooked it with neem wood. Just by the taste, Prabhupada could understand. She didn't say a word to him, just by the taste, he understood. These are nice stories that Jamuna told us. She told us another story. That we're on the subject of prasadam. And we're very happy the devotees from Bombay and Attapur, suburb of Hyderabad, they've joined together, wonderful kitchen to cook for us these next few days. You enjoyed breakfast this morning? So, anyway, one time, a long time ago, they still called Prabhupada Swamiji. And Prabhupada was very excited one day. They were in Calcutta. And Prabhupada was very excited one day. He told Jamuna, my sister is coming. Because at this time, nobody knew Prabhupada's sister, Pishima. Nobody knew her before. They never met her before. And Prabhupada was very excited. And he told Jamuna that my sister's coming. You have to cook very nicely. You have to cook this and this and this and this. And you have to cook it like that and that and that and that. And then Prabhupada went into the kitchen with Jamuna following, and he cooked this and this and this, like that and that and that, and she just helped. Then Prabhupada and Pishima, they were sitting in a room together, and she brought in silver thalis with silver katoris and set them down, and they began to eat. And they were chattering away in Bengali. Because Bengalis, they cannot digest without talking. I know, because I used to live, when ashram was in the Gurukul building, Pundrik and I, Pundrik Vidyanidhi, who's translated many of Bhaktivinoda Prabhu's, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books, we were living, and next, in the building there, And next door to us was the Bengali pujaris, and they came home, we're trying to sleep, and they come home at night with all their Mahaprasad. So they were chattering away, and Prabhupada was just eating like with great gusto, very pleasantly eating everything. Huh? And Jamuna kept coming in, filling up the katoris and bringing in chapatis. And you know, if you eat too much prasadam, you get a little like intoxicated, right? So she came in one time to fill up the katoris, and Prabhupada had stacked them all one on top of the other, one on top of the other, like this. And Prabhupada says, see, I'm a good boy. I have finished all my prasadam. And with the last katori, he threw it at the bottom of the pile, and the whole thing came crashing down on his plate with a big noise. And Jamuna, oh, Swamiji. And your sister, should I give her some more? And Prabhupada's sister doesn't understand one word of English. Prabhupada looked at her and said, she is so fat. If you give her anything more, she will explode. And then Prabhupada smiled at Pishima, and Pishima smiled back. She didn't understand a word. And she went, oh, Swamiji. And he said, yes. When I was younger, I used to crawl on her back and pull her pigtails. And Prabhupada smiled at Pishima, and Pishima smiled back. These are some wonderful stories that Jamuna told us from the old days in Vrindavan with Srila Prabhupada. So does anybody have any questions? I don't know much about this place. It's just so sweet to come here. Yes?
She's asking what kind of a bhajan was Nanda Baba doing here?
What kind of bhajan was Nanda Baba doing? All I know is he had a Shalagram Shila because he was made the king of all the cowherds. And everybody, Nanda Baba and Yasoda's reign, they were very, very happy. Only one trouble was beating against all the hearts of the Vrishvasis, that Nanda and Yasoda had no child. And so some of his citizens would say, you worship this Devi Devata, you perform this yaga, you do this vrat. But Nanda Maharaj, he only had faith on his Shalagram Maharaj. He said, if Lord Vishnu desires, I'll get child. If I don't, I won't. But to please his citizens, he would follow all of these different vrats, worship these different Devi Devatas, and perform these different yagas. But no child came. So he was worshipping, I've heard that he used to worship his Shalagram Maharaj. And there's a nice place in the forest here. You see, it's very peaceful, nobody around. So Gokul must have been like similar like that 5,000 years ago. As far as I could understand, Moni Baba, I don't know what his real name was, but they called him Moni Baba. Mon, of course, means silent. He wasn't speaking. He developed this whole place. So, in all the Prikrama books, there's not much information. Just it's such a nice place, and beautiful deities are here. We have a nice hall here where we can sit. So since we're all the way up here to Shai, there's only 1.5 kilometers, you saw it just down the road. So there's no more questions. Everybody can come take darshan of Vasudeva and Devaki and Vasudev.
Already had darshan.
Well, maybe there's somebody who didn't. If you didn't take darshan, you take darshan. Otherwise, we can see all these little shrines around here and go back to the buses, and we'll go to Chamelivan, which is the northernmost forest of Braj. Hare Krishna.